So as a solo videographer, cinematographer, whatever you want to call it, one thing I love to do on this channel is give some insight on some of the projects that I'm doing, not necessarily as a way to brag, but more to show you guys different niches that are out there that are not only fun, but you can make a little bit of money, and simultaneously I use these as experimental kind of projects in regards to getting better at shooting these type of projects. I linked up with Disco Cowboy, Chris Anderson, a good friend of mine who also works with our team, and he's decided to become a local DJ and go under the name of Disco Cowboy. So for this particular project, we're showing up at their warehouse, and then we run into the actual gear that we're going to be filming this with. And my A camera for most situations is going to be the LUMIX S5iiX. But as far as glass for this shoot, we brought the LUMIX 100mm, we brought the Old Faithful 24-105 Canon, and then also when it comes to frame rates for this particular project, we're doing 30 or we're doing 60. I've found with a lot of music type events, DJs, things of that nature, because of the way you're going to see how that I'm filming this, 30 frames does really come in handy. Now, we will also be using gimbal setup. You can see we've got the S5iiX on the gimbal. We have the Zhiyun Weebill 3. I've got my little handle on the side. And then we also have kind of focusing on glass here. Reason being is we're going to kind of juggle between the 20 to 60. We're also going to use the Old Faithful 24-105 Canon glass, get a little bit of a different look. We've got that Sigma MC21 adapter so that we can use it. But this is kind of the setup, the glass, and the whole vibe that we're going to be using to film this particular kind of task. Now, at this point, you guys got to see some social clips that we put together, and it's funny, when I watch them back now, I was super thrilled in the beginning, but the more and more I watch, I kind of start to critique myself. But this was a complete experiment with Disco Cowboy just to kind of get some social media content. And a lot of these shots that you're seeing, particularly currently right now, we're on the gimbal, kind of slowly scaling in, and we kind of go around the actual environment. Now, one thing I also start to implement as we move into more of the kind of upbeat music is you're going to see me scaling in while also taking the gimbal and kind of rotating it from side to side. What I've just found with a lot of this kind of content is that a DJ just standing at a booth doing his thing, not very exciting. So you as the cameraman, you as a cinematographer, you're gonna have to come up with unique ways to kind of elevate that footage. And what I've found is just pacing around and doing things like that will elevate the footage. So for this shot, coming in handheld, kind of wobbling back and forth, just trying to get that footage to be more exciting, more exhilarating. And then obviously we're cutting into a nice up close with the Disco Cowboy, kind of just vibing. He's spinning, he's doing his thing. We've got a nice up and close shot. Now for this next portion, we're locked and loaded on the gimbal. We've got high-paced music, and you can kind of see me start to move back and forth pretty quickly. Now I'm trying to pace big sweeps while simultaneously telling the gimbal to kind of rotate. So there's a little bitty kind of like lever on that Weebill 3. And while I'm moving and kind of going back and forth like this, I'm also trying to make that camera kind of do this as well. It really adds a unique movement to the shot, and I found that once again, with these DJs just staying put, you've got to bring energy through the footage. And right now I'm kind of going in, I'm going out, while also kind of spinning. And with all those lights, it just really puts off a pretty unique vibe. And this is one of those gimbal shots that I think is pretty unique. And you can kind of see me pacing side to side. So for this portion, you can see me kind of dropping pretty low and angling the camera up. This is to make Chris, Disco Cowboy, appear kind of a little bit bigger to the viewer. And also it's just a different perspective. You can see that disco ball up at the very top. And I'm just goofing around here. Some of these shots, they work out really good. Really what I'm trying to do is just get a combination of a little bit of everything. Now, of course, here we are. We're kind of floating around. He's slowly but surely. And as mentioned, I'm just experimenting with every possible angle I can get because the space itself is very tiny. So it's up to you as a cinematographer to be like, okay, what are all the unique angles that I can get? And sometimes they looked really great. And a lot of times, you know, maybe I just needed to be like, okay, that has been a shot that's been overdone. All right, so that's a quick glimpse into just solo tackling a little bitty video project like that with a DJ. Now, I know many of you are probably going, Trey, how do I even establish a relationship, or how do I get myself into that type of position? I would just say, for many of you out there, start getting on Instagram. If this is a genre that you would like to film, start figuring out where these guys are at. DM them, say, hey, I'd love the opportunity to show up to one of your events and film, and if you like what you see, let's maybe talk about doing a little bit more. That's how I've kind of formed a lot of relationships with these type of people. I will not say it's much money, but it's really fun, and it tests me and gives me a practice environment, and I cannot tell you how important that is, because without these types of situations, there's no way in heck that I could elevate my type of work. And if you're familiar with the channel or new to the channel, I want to showcase doing all types of work. You can go see BTS of me doing golf. You can see me doing BTS of events, DJs, interviews, documentaries. I say all of that to say is I look at all these different jobs as opportunities to kind of hone my craft and get better, and also figure out what I want to do, what I don't like to do. And it's these types of things that put a smile on my face. They put me in environments where if I've never done it before, I'm going to have to figure out what I need to do to tell my camera or to get the final results that I would like. And if I were critiquing myself in this, one thing that I have to figure out is when dealing with these extremely bright lights, it was either I should have told Chris maybe to turn some of them down so we weren't getting so much overexposure. And the only other thing that I would have liked to do, and I think time permitted it, and it's just a first of its kind, so you can't beat yourself up too much, would be I need to figure out a way to possibly light him a little bit more. But overall, I mean, seeing the final footage, you guys weigh in what you think. Are any of you guys out there filming DJs? Or did you like this type of content? Do you think it's silly? But overall, this is just me wanting to present to you the type of work that's out there and the fun little things that you can experiment to get better, make a little bit of side cash, shake a couple hands, meet more contacts, and grow your network and grow your skill set. So hey guys, Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and I'll see y'all in the next video.
So much for coming out today.